I know you're just starting out, right? So I'm going to hit you hard and tell you the truth. What's the difference? Somebody want to ask, what's the difference working in a nonprofit hospital or a hospital for profit? Now, you may not think about these things. You just got a job, and that's the most important thing. You got out of school, congratulations, and you got a job. What's the difference? You working in a nonprofit or for profit? Do you ever think about that? Well, I did. I had experience on both, and we are going to talk about what's the difference. As a nurse, working in an environment that is for profit and one that's not. Which one do I prefer? I'll let you know. Stay tuned. I want to take this time to say thank you, my subscriber. You really showed up and support me, leaving comments, getting me noticed on YouTube. And I want to say thank you. Now, there's so much things that we got to think about being a nurse. We got to think about salary. We got to think about working environment. We got to think about passing all these tests, because tests doesn't stop once you get out of school. You still, when you go on the job, they may want to test you. You want to feel comfortable in your work environment. So you want to choose a job that you know that you're going to be there for a while. And unfortunately, I have to tell you, this is in the 21st century. It's hard to find a job or a location that you're going to be able to stay there forever. That's not the reality. Maybe it's different for you, but it wasn't for me. Anyway, we're going to talk about, I'm not getting into the legality of the difference between nonprofit and profit. I'm just going to tell you, being a nurse, working in the environment when the company is all about profit. Money, 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 the bag. And nonprofit. They basically are the same, but working environment is not the same. I'm trying to tell you. For profit. Money, money, money. Every patient come in the door is not going. Whoever walk in, so long as they have the insurance, you're going to be busy, nurses. The admission, you may be doing one and another 2 more comes. It's all about money, profit. Usually in those facilities, and I have worked in many over the years, short staff, not enough staff, can't find supplies, etc., etc., etc. Patrice is stressed. Patrice is frustrated. I don't know what to do. Money, money. The bottom line, if you're not making them money, you won't be there long too, nurses. It's all about profit. Now, nonprofit, they make their money too. I wouldn't say, as a matter of fact, I think I make more money in a nonprofit environment than when it's the business relying on their profit. They can say, oh, we didn't make any money this year, so we can't get a raise. Or any little things I'm trying to say, when I work in a business that is, and it's all about profit, money comes through the door. Insurance and people who have. Grady is a big hospital here in Atlanta, and they're nonprofits. And a lot of people don't want to go to Grady. When I first got here, I heard about Grady. I was going to go there to work, but I don't like the driving. It's always construction. That's the only thing that's keeping me from applying. It's always construction in that area, and I don't see where I can park, even though I think they have a pay parking now. But just driving around that area, I don't feel comfortable. So that's the only reason that keeping me from applying to Grady. And they have a site department on the 13th floor. That's nonprofit. The nurses love it there. And I think that's one of the, people say but it's a good hospital, an excellent hospital. If I had to go there, if I get sick, I would go to Grady. Yeah, I would prefer to go to Grady. And I've seen people without insurance, they go to Grady and Grady take care of them. And I have worked in facilities, even in Pennsylvania, worked in facilities for profit that turn the patient away and they go somewhere else. But this is not about the patient. It's the working environment that I've worked in as a nurse. It's more stressful in a for-profit because the bottom line is they got to make the profits. So how you make the profits? Money has to come to the door, and inside money has to come in. And the nurse, I don't care. They don't have a cutoff for the admission. If you work 12 hours, you best believe you're going to be working 12 hours. If admission come in for the whole 12 hours, best believe, and they got it, you're going to be working. For profit, I see them have a little leadway where you have a break. They still make, I think they make their money to charitable fundings and everything, but you don't really notice it. You don't notice the extreme of the difference, but when you go into a for-profit, you kind of feel like, God, do they really care? Pediatric nursing is very stressful, very, extremely stressful. So imagine working in a for-profit facility and you're short. You're the only nurse and they're giving you 6 admission. You're trying to say, could you please slow it down? But no, they're coming at you and you may feel so overwhelmed and there's nobody to help you. So that can be frustrating. That can cause my stress level to go up because I'm like, oh my God, can I get through the day? I don't want to lose my license because it's just coming. There's a potential for you to get caught up in legality because disorganization, you can't finish. To be honest, this is what I'm seeing. Okay, I don't mind if the admission come in, right? But let me finish this first. That's how I wanted it. But I can't always get my way. Let me finish this. You just gave me admission and then you tell me another one is in the door for me to finish. Now I have all these papers here and then you bring some more patient and it get confused and I have to get to the doctor and it just major confusion. So I'm not sure why for profit is like that, but that's how it is. You don't have a unit secretary, so you're everything. And then usually, if it's 2 nurses and 1 nurse call out, you may end up working by yourself with no secretary. So you give out meds, you're doing everything, and it's overwhelmed. I'm not sure salary wise if the difference is it worth it to be in a for-profit or non-profit. I just wanted to throw that out so that you could, kind of envision the environment. So let me know. Because of that type of environment, what you will find, the morale of the nurse is very low. They just don't care. That's how I find. It's like, okay, if nobody care, why should I care? And then you may see, I've worked in a place where everybody come in management and they put pressure on you. And they end up, by the time they get you in order, oh, you say, oh, this is getting organized and everything. Then you found out that they disappear. They quit the management. So the environment in a for-profit, money, 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 always think money, and the type of patient that comes in are more sicker. So you, as a nurse working in those kind of environment, I'm talking about psych now. Those are type of patient that may come to the door that belong in medical, but they slip through on the psych wards, and then you have to tell them, oh, this patient really needs to go to the medical facility. So if you're that type of nurse and you're in that kind of environment, if you have medical background, good for you. You can survive in that kind of environment. But if you can't, what I'm trying to say is, it's going to be, you're going to get more sicker patient. You're going to get tons of patient. The work doesn't stop. It's going, and it doesn't stop because you're working by yourself. No, you still should, at least, if you can't finish, just do the skin assessment. That's all I think that. But the workload is more than it should be. It doesn't feel, it's too much. They just be coming. And the nurses there, they're frustrated. And so the environment and the morale is usually lower. The morale can be low in any hospital setting. It doesn't, I'm not trying to say it's just particular for profit or for nonprofit. The morale is low because the nurses are stressed, they're fed up, they just can't deal with it anymore. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Big controversy about for-profit is making a lot, for-profit is better in terms of the business. And I don't know the business side of it. And nonprofit, they get tax exempt. And for-profit don't get all that. So they have to go out and get their money. That's like you working as a PRN nurse. You can't turn down any assignment if you need money. You got to keep working. Even though you don't get health insurance, you're just there working. That's the difference between PRN and the full-time who's there for so many years. They got health insurance. They have everything. They may have a 401k. Get what I'm saying? But this video is not trying to, it's just giving you a little highlight to know the difference of the environment that you're working. That if you're going into a facility, and they may not tell you, you can look it up before you go on the interview, what kind of environment what kind of background on these hospitals, are they for profit or not? And knowing that when you go into a facility that's say for profit, the bottom line is money. And sometimes money clouds everything. That's all I can say. Whereas nonprofit, they also may not have supply. Not every hospital is always short. They ain't going to be short too. For profit and nonprofit may not see some supply, but they're more quicker to get supply because they're more, I guess charity helped them out. But for profit, they rely on everything to spend that money. They're very calculating with it. So that was my experience. And, somebody had asked me that, and I was telling them we were, going back and forth with notes. What was it like working in such and such? But they were for profit. And it was the same experience from we're in a different state. Then when I went to Minnesota, I went to Delaware, and all those places, and I worked for profit, and it was the same situation, confusion, and it was about money. And you could tell, you just feel so overwhelmed and pressure. And when I worked in nonprofit situation, it was totally different. Not saying it's all better, but there was a difference. You can feel that difference. So I wanted to come out here and just give you a little highlight. When you're going for your job, you just might want to look up that little thing and say, oh. And then if you have ever worked in a nonprofit or a for-profit, tell me the difference that you have encountered. Leave a comment. Have a wonderful day or night in your state or your country. Thank you.